And this is going to go at the beginning of the episode. This is for the betting part. I'm just going to give out betting recap and one bet today. I would watch this live line due to this being an NBA line. Let's see here. All right, so if you go to this website, teamrankings.com, they have, I mean, I'm sure you don't want to really do research, but if you want to, you can. This is where I do some of my research. Teamrankings.com, bettingpros.com, bestodds.com. Those are three pretty good websites. So if you go to the NBA on teamrankings.com and you have odds and trends, you go to team trends, and we have, yeah, I know. This is why I usually do this off the mic and then I just give the bet. So you can, you know what I mean? Not have to listen to me fucking wait for my computer to load shit. So we got the LA Clippers at the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight at 7 p.m., January 6th. It's January 6th, 5:29 p.m., 2025. LA Clippers and Minnesota Timberwolves. So the LA Clippers are 20-15 against this. No, not, excuse me. The LA Clippers are 21-14 against the spreads, covering at 60%. And the Minnesota Timberwolves are 13-20-1 against the spread, covering at 39.4% of the time. So the stats say take the LA Clippers at plus 2.5 point underdogs against the Minnesota Timberwolves, plus 2.5 points as underdogs on the road in Minnesota against the Timberwolves tonight. Now, I'm going to wait to watch this line move. I'm going to wait till this game starts and live bet the Clippers spread, because the Clippers are probably going to be losing at some point in this game before halftime or during halftime. So when the Clippers are losing by like 15 to 20 points in the first quarter or the first half, that's when I'm going to live bet the spread versus doing it before the game, because that's the way to go with NBA spread betting. So you find one beforehand, like the Clippers being 21-14 against the spread this year, so they cover at 60%, and Minnesota being 13-20-1, they're covering at 39.4% of the time. So Minnesota's not very good against the spread, but they're going to be winning this game by like 15 points in the first quarter or the first half. That's when you live bet the LA Clippers spread, because the LA Clippers live betting spread is going to be at like plus 15 versus plus 2.5, which is the smartest thing in the world to do. So whenever I post NBA spread bet before the NBA game, just know that I'm going to actually not be doing that bet plus 2.5. I'm going to wait for the game to start, watch the Clippers and the Timberwolves game, and then I'm going to be watching the live bet section of mybookie.ag. If you go to the live section, it'll show you all the games happening live, and it'll show you all the live spreads. Sometimes for the live spreads, you have to wait till halftime for them to make the line available. So you might have to do that. But the LA Clippers, when they're losing against the Timberwolves, is when you bet on the LA Clippers spread. Preferably when they're losing by like 10 to 15 points. Because the spread's going to go from plus 2.5, which means they have to lose by 2, lose by 1, or win to cover that spread. The plus 2.5, the Clippers, which they're already doing at 60% of the time this year. Minnesota's covering at under 40%. So when they're losing, when you do the live bet, the spread's going to move from plus 2.5 to like plus 15.5 if they're losing by like 13, which means if it's plus 15.5, if they lose by 15 or 14 or 13 or 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or win, they cover. So it's way smarter to do that. So when I say LA Clippers plus 2.5 for tonight's only bet, I would mean bet the Clippers live spread. Basically. Yesterday, we were 1-0 yesterday, plus 1 unit due to the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Anaheim Ducks game going under 7 goals. I got it at 7. When I posted the episode, it was at 6.5, under 6.5 at minus 102 odds. But the line moved later in the day because I placed the bet like a couple hours later after the episode. And the line moved from under 6.5 to under 7 at minus 125 odds versus minus 102 due to the total goals scored going from 6.5 to 7 due to the public money and all the money going on the under. So all the money's coming in on the under. That means that the sports book's going to move the 6.5 to 7. Or excuse me, all the money's going on the over. Excuse me. So then they move the line from 6.5 to 7 to get all the people betting on that line to not bet on the over because all the money's coming in on the over. So they want to change. They go from 6.5 to 7, and then it's hard to get over 7 goals. That means the teams would have to score 8 goals. So that's why they moved it from 6.5 to 7, the sports book. So plus 1 unit on that, I'd risk 1.25 units. So for this one, I would do a live 1.1 unit bet on the LA Clippers when they're losing against the Timberwolves tonight. And that's the only bet. Amen. God bless. I'll do a screen recording episode on how to use the MyBookie website. If somebody wants me to do that, comment in the description of the episode, either on YouTube or Spotify, or text me at 763-242-4788, or email me at one of the 2 emails in the description of the episode. Namaste. God bless. Amen. Watch your sinning out there, folks. Testing. We're rocking and rolling. I'm just seeing how the audio sounds. Sunday, January 5th. 7:30 p.m. We are watching the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions game. Last game of the regular season for the NFL, and the NFC North and the 1 seed is on the line. It's 0-0, 11 minutes left. The Vikings have the ball at the 14-yard line, 1st and 10. Both 14-2. Sam Darnold to Aaron Jones right up the middle to the right side of the center for an 8.5-yard gain. Nice strong run by Aaron Jones, number 33. Former Packer. Sam Darnold stats coming up. 2024 through week 17, completion percentage, 68%, yards, 4,153, touchdowns, 35. I missed the interceptions count. My bad. And that's a first down, TJ Hawkinson at the 30-yard line. Right at the left yard hash, I believe, at the 30. Yep. 5-man rush, and they got a QB spy, I believe, from the linebacker. Nice pass to the left to TJ Hawkinson, number 87, for a first down, about 8-yard gain. 1st and 10, Vikings. Sam Darnold calling CJ Ham to play action motion. To the right side of Sam Darnold to the left, and they fake it to Aaron Jones, and they pass it to Justin Jefferson. To the right hash, and he's got a 6-yard gain. Man, he caught it off a fucking bubble screen right there. He looked like he was about to fucking just take off down the field, like he does. And something just stopped him. I think it was actually the Vikings wide receiver, not in the slot, but on the outside of the slot, blocking for him, that he got pushed by a Lions defender, and he kind of got in the way of Justin. He had to juke out of his way. Sam Darnold handoff to Aaron Jones to the right, outside right, for a 3-yard gain. 3rd and 2. 9:14 left. Vikings Lions 14-2. Both teams on the road. The Vikings Anzalone, number 34 for the Lions. The long, luscious locks. Right off the block, he just pats it away. He just says, no, I'm not going to let you block me, patty cake. And just kind of runs, he just makes it look easy. He just taps the fucking offensive lineman and kind of runs away and makes the tackle. Pass to Aaron Jones, first down for a gain of 4. Sam Darnold to Aaron Jones. That's the third touch for Aaron Jones on the drive. Boom! Boom! We also got the Anaheim Ducks and the Tampa Bay Lightning game pulled up due to putting a bet on that earlier. Under 7 goals scored. There's 5.5 minutes left in the first period. Out of 3 periods, the Anaheim Ducks are up 1-0. 8 shots on goal for the Ducks. 3 shots on goal for the Lightning. 1-0 there. The Anaheim Ducks got their orange jerseys on. Aaron Jones to the left, just to the right of the left hash line for a 6-yard gain. Joshua Pascal, Levi Oz, DJ Reader, Zadarius Smith, former Packer, former Viking, Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, Amik Robertson, Brian Branch, Ifietu Meliflola, Kirby Joseph, Terrion Arnold. Those are all the players for the Lions, which if we fast forward a year from now, or 2 years from now, if my sister's a cunt, then you would already know what all these people look like if you are blind. False start. Everyone but the center on the Vikings. 7:34 left in the first. Kevin O'Connell is looking at the play sheet, wondering what the hell do we do here? Let's attack. We need to score on the first drive. The Lions did not score on the first drive at all. Nothing. Dud. Punt. 2nd and 9. Come on, Kevin. I believe. Chris and Tariq. Mike Tariq. I love Mike Tariq. He's one of my favorite, maybe my favorite person of all time. Mike Tirico. Damn! 3rd and 9. Incompletion over the center of the field. About at the 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. Sam Darnold to, I don't know if that was TJ Hawkinson or number 84. He just threw it out in front of him. He missed him. He threw it about, a few feet too far in front. The tight end he did stop. He slowed down. I don't know why he stopped. Maybe because he saw the linebacker out in front of him and he wanted to stop in that open area of the defense, of the zone coverage. Sam Darnold. Oh, shit! Right off of TJ Hawkinson's hands, man. Fuck. He should have had that. He should have caught that. No, he really should have caught that. You're okay, big girl. You're fine. Baby, you're fine. You're fine, Aria. Aria Speedwagon. Aria Speedwagon. Arya, like Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. That's her name. Call her Aria Speedwagon. The mangy mutt. She's a French bulldog. She's a disgusting rat dog. A mangy hand towel that you haven't seen in 30 years. Hiding under your hoard of trash. So she's mangy like that. Even after a bath, just straight mange. So I've been calling her the mangy mutt. Mangy. But since, like I said earlier in a previous episode, it's holiday season. Jesus' birthday was like 2 weeks ago, so she's the manger mutt for at least another week. The manger mutt. Not the mangy, the manger. The manger mutt. I think if somebody stumbled upon this fucking disgusting creature inside of a manger, they'd probably want to Just dump it in the river or throw it in the ocean. Put it out of its misery. It can barely breathe. We have 3.5 minutes left in the Ducks and Lightning game. Ducks are still at 1-0. Shots are 9-4. Ducks. They got the puck in the defensive zone. They're trying to get it out now, and now it's in the neutral zone, and they have the puck on the right side to the left wing, coming from the left side of the ice to the right side as the left wing shooting it on the right side. And now they're behind the net. They're trying to control the zone here, the Anaheim Ducks. Goal! Ducks! Damn. We had the under. We do still have the under, but it's 2-0. 2-0. Damn, they just dissected that fucking defense. Or attempted defense. That's what I love about the NHL. If you can just control the zone, the more amount of time that you control the zone as an offense, the more likely you are to score because the people on the ice are not able to change their lines. They're not able to substitute any defensemen or forwards. And they just get tired and they get worn down. And if you keep it in the zone, that means they're not in your zone. They have a lot. It's impossible for them to score in their zone with a goaltender in your net. So anytime you're in their zone is fucking perfect. I think it's going to stay 2-0 until the end of the first period here for the Ducks and Lightning. We got 2.5 minutes left there. Last game of the NFL season, the Vikings and the Lions. Who gets the 1 seed? Who gets the 5 seed? It's 0-0. We got about 7 minutes and 1 second left in the first quarter. 2 punts on the first 2 drives by both teams, both offenses. 1st and 10 from number 16, Jared Goff. I'm going to be honest, I'm very, very, very impressed by Jared Goff's performance since he left the Los Angeles Rams. Like, extremely. I don't know if that's a product of Dan Campbell and his offensive... is he the offensive coordinator? No. That's the other guy. I forgot his name. The skinnier white guy. Does Dan Campbell call the defensive plays? Has he this entire time? Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr. Ja H. Meyer. It's kind of true. EE. But that's some skitsed out shit. Sam Laporta, first down. For the Lions on 2nd and 6. We got about 6:05 left in the first. I might actually just unemploy all of these sports announcers. I'm kind of doing it lackadaisically, so because I'm not getting paid anything, so I don't want to, I don't want to sit here and talk unless I'm doing it for a good cause and or it's for good money, like money. But that's why I want to do the blind thing once the Holy Spirit gets her ass into gear here. Yep, still 2-0. Ducks Lightning. There's a minute left in the first period. I'm about to go out for a quick... God, I need to stop smoking cigarettes. Jared Goff, play action. Up the middle to Amon-Ra St. Brown for about a 25-yard gain past the 50-yard line. On the left yard hash. Just on the right side of the left yard hash. At the Vikings 44. Incomplete pass. Just about 3 yards to the left of the line of scrimmage for Jared Goff to... Who was that? Second and 10. 4:26 left in the first. This is the fucking... Dude, the Vikings defense, one of the best in the league this year, has really got to show up right now. And I think they will. I didn't catch that receiver who Jared Goff threw an incomplete pass to. Number 13, I think. I don't know who that is. Jared Goff out of the shotgun. Right up the middle to Sam Laporta. Such a reliable... It's such a, it's such a sigh of, a weight lifted off your shoulders as, a owner as a football team or an offensive coordinator or not, anybody on the offense with a reliable tight end who knows how to find the holes in the defensive zones and just sit in that open spot. And then when they can sense when the defender is getting closer to them, so they get open after that if they don't have the ball. It's just a very fucking underappreciated part of an NFL offense. A good, reliable tight end who's big enough to block on the run and the pass and, offensively aware enough with his... his eyesight, essentially, and able to find those open spots in the zone or able to create separation when being covered man-to-man. Either because he's big enough to create that separation and, it's like an NBA box out, like LeBron James on Rajon Rondo. You know? .341 left in the first. I love Mike Tariq, so I don't want to take Mike Tariq's job, so I'm going to stop talking. I'm not talking myself up, or I'm not narcissistic or talking about how I'm better than any of these NFL announcers in terms of announcing the play-by-play. We only are going to allow blind people to listen to the live play-by-play in the future. Me and my sister, because that's who's going to be the one. And without her, it's probably not going to be possible, in my personal opinion. I feel like I need her because she knows so much about football. She knows even more than me, and I know a lot. But anyways, I don't want to. We are. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're gonna need to be blind, so if you want to voluntarily make that happen, as Jared Goff passes for an 8-yard gain on 3rd and 12, if you're thinking about, man, is it worth it to hear these two talk about sports into a microphone and be a part of this elusive, segregated community, online community? Should I make myself blind in order to jerk myself off every night to listening to this dude's stepsister or another woman, if the stepsister isn't really game for doing this for blind people to help them not go to hell? But you're going to need a para probably if you're blind, because I'd like to talk to the para and do an interview preferably, but if not, then that's fine. The only reason I say I would like a para is because I'm trying to make a website where you just press f.com. Well, never mind. You just press that, and then for blind people, it's super easy for them to just listen to the podcast, the live play-by-play, and or right below the search bar, like if you move the mouse up to the search bar and you press f.com and then you move the mouse a little bit down to the left or a little bit down to the right, you either get the live podcast. Jahmyr Gibbs for the first touchdown of the games here. He's on my fantasy team. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. Or he was on my fantasy team. Somebody sold my team. They traded one of my players. I'm fucking pissed off about it. I don't know how nobody tackled him on this play. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? I think he was even shocked. He's like, I outran that guy. He touched me with both of his arms. And I just kept jogging. Yeah. That was too easy of a touchdown for that defense. Jesus, man. Back to the commercial break. We're in the first intermission for the Lightning and Ducks game. We're already at almost 20 minutes here. I'm sure nobody's going to really appreciate this episode for what it's really worth, and that is the live play-by-play. In the littlest form that it was when I started. That's the thing. I'm not trying to take Tom Brady's job or Tony Romo's job or Jim Nance's job or Kurt Herbstreit's job or Al Michaels' job or Tony Dungy's job or Jason Garrett's job or who else is it? The Black Chick's job or Peyton Manning or Eli Manning's job or Troy Aikman or Joe Buck's job or anybody like that. Chris Collinsworth's job. I'm not trying to take any of these people's jobs because they got families to feed too. So I don't want to show them up in terms of descriptive play-by-play. Because that's what I want to bring to the table, but that's really only for blind people. So you can only really be blind to listen. So if you want to do that, go do that so you can listen to the live play-by-play. Because I'm not trying to, put everybody out of a job at CBS. You know what I mean? Because I know how to, because I can say fuck and cunt into a microphone while I'm talking about the sports games that are happening. And they can't. Or somebody can talk about a bet. Or somebody can talk about the time that they met Cam Newton or whatever. Or somebody can talk about this kid that has autism and cancer and he's dying. And if you just donate to his fucking, whatever, I'm trying to think of what it's called. Fundraiser thing. His GoFundMe, then he might not die of cancer and autism. Then they can talk about that on the podcast while we're doing live play-by-play as well. I'm going to try to set up a Discord, a Telegram, and if you have the Action app, ACTION, Action, that's where I'm going to be trying to post all of my sports bets. So it'll just send a notification to your phone if I post a sports bet. That way you don't have to listen to the podcast or pull up the episode description link and you can just get a notification. This is what Hayden would recommend to bet because this is what he's betting on this game. And right when I put the bet in on Action, the Action app, I don't work for them. I'm not doing a paid promotion. This is just an app that I am a fan of. Where I'm a fan of it so mostly because you're able to sync all of your sports books together, and when you post a bet on any of these sports books, it posts a notification to your Action account, and if you follow somebody's Action account, it'll notify you if they posted a bet on whatever game. And holy shit, Sam Darnold just took like a 20-yard sack, bro. Anyways, so that's what I like about Action. No, I don't work for them. No, they're not paying me money. No, my bookie isn't either. I just really like Action because what you can sync all of your sports books together, and once you post a bet on any of them or on the Action app, it'll update the bets on your profile, keep track for you, so you can go to somebody's Action profile and look at their track record, like their betting record on the NFL in the past 3 years or the past 3 months or however long they've been keeping track of bets on the Action app. Aaron Jones for a 6-7 yard run, 2nd and 20, 3rd and 20, excuse me. But that's what I personally myself really like about the Action app. Because if you download it and you follow me, every bet that I post, it'll just send you a notification right to your phone right away. Boom. And then you can spend whatever money you want on that bet. Because these bets are going to hit in the future. I'm just telling you that. This is why this is happening. All of this. The light, the comedy, the God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the whatever, the Powerball, the pick 3, the pick 4, the all or nothing, the go for 5, the Vikings going to the Super Bowl this year against the Chiefs. All of it. This is why. So I would just recommend God wanted me to, I think God wanted me to get a good record at betting on sports, specifically the NFL, because that's what I'm best at, so people can trust me. I just think it's all fate aligning together. Just like when my parents met each other at the dog track. And my dad's sister met her husband at the dog track, and he still bets on dogs to this very day, 30 years later. Why they all like Las Vegas very much. It's a nice town. Nevada is one of the only states, if not the only state, that has legal marijuana sale and consumption, has legal sports betting, has legal exotic wild cat ownership, depending on how much property you have and how much you have to buy them. In terms of the medium-sized wildcats, the caracal, the ocelot, the serval, the sunduck clouded leopard, and the clouded leopard. Those 5 medium-sized wildcats are all legal to own in Nevada as well. They're only legal to own in like a few states, not more than 5. Texas, Nevada, and like 2 others. So legal sports betting, legal weed, legal medium-sized wildcats, which I love. I love them so much. I want to buy like a bunch of land and just let them roam and breed, and then I just let them eat me. I just let them eat me in my mansion on our property where they just roam freely. But I have I just keep them all on like a shock fence on the perimeter of the property, so they can't ever really leave. They could if they wanted to, but they'd probably get shocked to death. No, they wouldn't. Then they would. They'd probably get shocked into like a coma or a seizure if they just wanted to not return to the property and keep getting shocked because of the shock collar. Imagine that just nonstop until you return to an area. It's not very, you know what I mean? I don't really like that, so maybe not. I don't like that. Start of the second quarter, 7-0 Lions. Melissa Stark interviewing Kevin O'Connell. Third season as Vikings head coach, 34-16. Can you hear it? Melissa didn't have anything to say about our Tinder match. The second period is starting for the Lightning and Ducks. But I'm not even doing a bit or joking when I say you have to be blind. Because I want all the people who work at NBC, CBS, Fox to keep their jobs. I don't want me and some fucking, like, byproduct of a bad marriage to be the ones to put all these people out of employment because we're that good at doing live play-by-play and giving out bets that people would rather listen to us than Tom Brady and whoever the fuck that guy is. Oh! Van Ginkel with the hit on Gibbs. He's down. He got rocked. He got his shit rocked. Third down in like 20. That's a screen pass to the right side of Goff. 5 yards, 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he just got his shit rocked. But he held on to the fucking ball. That's the difference right there between a man and a boy, or a little man. Somebody who holds onto the football after literally getting the wind knocked out of them. Jared Goff takes a 12-yard sack, 4th and like 30. Yeah, I had a feeling the under might be the way to go here at 56.5 points. Because the Vikings defense is very good. And there's something about primetime division games that the Vikings always seem to not score as many points on offense in primetime division games against division opponents during the primetime. So that would be Sunday night, Monday night, or Thursday night, or Saturday night. They just seem to struggle against the Bears even. The Bears, I mean, God help the Bears. God help the Bears. I got a fat dog on my lap. The lap nap trap from the mutt. The manger mutt. It's called the lap nap trap because the French bulldog falls asleep on your body in your lap and you're trapped for her nap. That's about the way that goes, unless you want to get up and disturb her nap and fuck everything up. It's just a really good excuse to be a lazy piece of shit. I need my, yeah, we got to poke some smut here. I'm kidding. It's a comedy show. What I'm not kidding about is the Anaheim Ducks being up 2-0 at the start of the second period. I think we're at over 30 minutes already. I might pause it here. I was joking about smoking pot. I don't do marijuana. I don't do drugs. Not anymore. I don't even do acetaminophen or Tylenol or Excedrin. No, not for me. Not for you. You shouldn't be doing those drugs. They're illegal in Mexico, where we're all going to be living soon once the commies force us out of the country for it being too rich. You need too much money to live in this country. Get this message out to Lauren Meyer, my stepsister. She won't listen to my episodes or my podcast, I don't think. But the blind people need us, Lauren, so just get this episode to her if you know her, you know somebody who knows her, know somebody who knows somebody who knows her. There's 8:50 left in the Minnesota Vikings Detroit Lions game. It's 9-10. Lions are up 10-9. It should be 15-10. The Lions went for it on 2 fourth downs that cost them 2 field goal opportunities. So it's 9-10 versus 15-10. If you can't get in the end zone, Kevin, Sam, Justin, Aaron, then go. That's what I just learned just now tonight, really. That's really what I learned. Take the points. Take the field goal. Even if it's from 69 yards out. Just try it. It's better than going for it on 4th and 8. You know what I mean? 1st and 10 to Jameson Williams and Murphy Jr., number 7 stops for the Vikings. It's a loss of 5. 2nd and 15. 7:44 left in the third quarter. We also got the Lightning and Ducks game pulled up, which that game is it's still 2-1. Ducks are beating the Lightning 2-1. It's that game. The under is gonna hit. It's almost the end of the third. The game's almost over. It's 2-1. Under 7 goals. Bang, shaboom, shabada. That's the way she goes. If I just listen to my advice that I give to all of you about betting on sports, if I just listen to my own advice about betting on sports that I give all of you, which I did today, we're all going to have a lot of money. Just do the bets that I talk about on the podcast, and that's it. No live bets, no player props, no alternate spreads, none of it. Just the bets that I talk about on the podcast or post about in the description of this podcast or on the Action Network or on any of my social media platforms. If we all do that, we're going to fucking rape the politicians with their fucking bullshit inflation and legal sports betting, legal sports gambling. Because they think they can take advantage of the American people and suck them dry of all their cash after inflicting them with inflation and a fake COVID virus and a fake flu, which is the same thing. But after doing that, they're like, all right, let's legalize sports betting. Let's, make some money back on all the fucking money that we spent to make ourselves wealthy and make ourselves a profit off of the vaccine and legalizing the vaccine mandate and profiting off of selling our stock in Moderna and Pfizer after the fact. They're like, all right, now let's legalize sports betting because 90% to 95% of the average sports bettor who doesn't do it for a career or a living or anything like that loses money. So 90 to 95% of you who are just betting on the Vikings to cover the spread right now because they're at the local bar in Minnesota or Wisconsin or Detroit and they think that the Vikings are going to win. So it's legal for them to do it in Michigan or Wisconsin, but not Minnesota. Why is that? Because Governor Walz is a fucking retard. That's why. So they're a little bit behind the ball and behind the curve on that whole thing. So I'm just ahead of it, like Joker, like the Joker in The Dark Knight. Go watch The Dark Knight and then get back to me. And you'll see that all of this is part of God's plan, you fucking pieces of shit. Fuck you. So if you haven't watched, for some reason, if you haven't seen Rampage yet, go watch that. If you haven't seen Rampage, go watch Rampage. And then watch the movie Cry Macho. Crymacho. I think that Clint Eastwood is trying to be the monkey from Rampage in the new Cry Macho movie. I think that he's actually trying. Dude, if you were to take a man like that, like Clint Eastwood, and you were to throw him on set of a movie that he's directing and producing, of course, that's why that movie was dog shit. That's why the plot doesn't make any sense. Why the movie is fucking retarded. But imagine, um, I actually think that George from Rampage. Really good movie. I think that George. What am I trying to say? George, the monkey from Rampage, the CGI gorilla ape, is a white albino gorilla, but it's like a monkey, but it's kind of like a gorilla, but like a giant one. So it's like a disproportionate to what a gorilla is in the size of a gorilla. It's pretty much. It's pretty much disproportionately how big the Rock is compared to people. Which he's not a fan of in the movie. Much like anybody who worked for Cry Macho. Anybody who worked on that movie or on set of that movie or worked for promoting that movie. Yeah. Cry Macho. The movie where Clint Eastwood was forced to he basically had to sign a waiver. Clint Eastwood had to sign a waiver after the movie to CGI out all of his facial hair. Clint Eastwood had a shit ton of facial hair apparently on the set of Cry Macho. Clint Eastwood. Apparently, when he was filming that movie with Macho and the boy, apparently all he could talk about was Rampage. Apparently all apparently all he could talk about was Rampage and how he hated The Rock. That's what Macho said. That's what Macho said. I just woke up from a nap. Monday, January 6th, 4:58 p.m. and 55 seconds. Well, it's 55 seconds now. So I was lying before. Excuse me for the lie. I was 1 second off. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Lord. Please excuse me, and I pray for forgiveness of my sins. Amen. You know, there were sins I'm referring to. Watching Cry Macho for almost a 2 hour movie. All Clint Eastwood could talk about in anger, they had to basically CGI his entire character because he would show up every day on set, ready to shoot scenes with facial hair. He had facial hair on his face, and he thought it was okay to show up looking like the monkey from Rampage. You can't show up to Cry Macho every day for weeks and basically uh, just show up with facial hair every day. I'm curious if Clint Eastwood plans on doing that again in his new feature film that I believe is coming out this year, 2025. If he plans on doing that to George and the ape community again, I'd actually be pretty fucking pissed off. You can't really do ape face anymore, Clint. Show up on set trying to do George face. It's not cool, man. I know you're like 98 years old, and that's maybe something you could do back in the day. Ape face. Not anymore, pal. Especially not on set of Cry Macho. Stop trying to be George from Rampage. Stop trying to be the fucking monkey, dude. Stop trying to look so much like the fucking monkey from Rampage. You're trying too hard to look. You look too much like George from Rampage. You look like a monkey. Like I said, I haven't seen the trailer for Clint Eastwood's new movie. I'm not sure if he's directing and producing and doing the screenwriting as well. I don't think he did the screenwriting for Cry Macho. You would probably believe that he did based on the results. If you've seen the movie, you probably think a man riddled with dementia and Alzheimer's did write the plot for that movie. That's what you get when you don't use George for ideas for your movies, and you have a fake, a fraud, a phony, a fake monkey try to fucking fill in as one, as like a fake human hybrid with facial hair, trying to be George. It's really fucked up. Ape face is not allowed anymore. From Clint, from George can do it. Actually, at the end of not Cry Macho. This is for Rampage. So this is for Rampage 2. So Rampage 2 starts out with instead of bringing the kid back to his father, they just went to the sports book in Vegas. They just walked there. Instead of going to the Texas ranch, they just went to Vegas instead. They walked to Vegas. They went to the sports book to bet on. Oh, that's right. Geno Smith and the Seahawks got knocked out of the playoffs. They So, Rampage 2. This time, they just used Clint Eastwood instead. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson actually sued Clint Eastwood for trying to look too much like George in the new Cry Macho movie, and that's why in the Cry Macho movie, Clint Eastwood doesn't have any facial hair. They had to CGI it out. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson made Clint Eastwood and the people in that movie do that. They made Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was pissed off for George. So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson went to, I don't know if he went to Clint Eastwood directly, but on George's behalf, he was not too happy for George because George can iterate that to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson because he's an intelligent monkey. That he would actually prefer that Clint Eastwood CGI all of the facial hair out so he stops looking so much like George. So instead of reshoot the film after the fact because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson saw a scene online that he shouldn't have seen. That's what it boils down to. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is like running around town in Hollywood, viewing people's movies before they come out and telling them what to do with their fucking movies. And one thing I noticed when I was watching Rampage, which is a really good movie, personally, I liked it a lot. Yeah, really good special effects. If you're for the special effects, if you're looking for that kind of if that's what you're looking for in terms of a movie and bringing that to the table, like really cool scenes, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson running on a window and there's a monster below him, then that's the kind of movie for you. But I noticed all these movies are like the fucking same, man. It's so weird. So like there's always like somebody like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and another character, and it's usually a woman, an attractive woman, not usually an attractive black woman, but you know, I like where they took that movie, The Rampage with that lady. And basically these movies are always like this. It's like usually with two characters and they usually have something to do with the bad thing that's happening or they have something to do with a bad thing that's about to happen and they're trying to prevent it. And they always end up in the vicinity or working with like the military or the government or the CIA or whatever it is. This organization that's trying to stop this bad thing from happening in the future, in the very near future, in terms of stopping these monsters from killing a bunch of humans or whatever. And then I realized, okay, so if none of these things are happening in the real world, like the world that we live in here in this world, because there aren't monsters running around, there's no zombies, there's no nukes, there's nothing. There's just like people killing each other in their own countries. That's pretty much what's happening in the world, and that's about it. In terms of like something like this, nothing like this in Rampage has happened ever in the world in terms of history. And what I mean by that is the military has never had to stop a bunch of animals from like killing a bunch of people. They never really had to do anything. What do I mean by that? If you're thinking to yourself, what does he mean by that? I mean what I said. I mean that the military really doesn't do anything. Nobody really does any of these things that are happening in any of these movies. None of these things happening in the movies are happening in the real world. None of them. None of these catastrophes, none of it. Transformers, aliens, Romulus, Captain America flying around, swinging a thing. None of the Hulk. Harrison Ford isn't turning into a Red Hulk. So nobody is doing any of these things. So what does everybody do all day? Does anybody do anything? Because I know none of the things that are happening in these movies are happening. Because nobody does any of these things. Nothing bad is happening in the world to, like, my uncle used to be an engineer for the Air Force up in Anchorage, Alaska. Now, where are the planes flying in Anchorage, Alaska, Uncle? Maybe that's why he killed himself, because they didn't have any work for him to do up there. He was probably sitting around doing nothing all day. Because I don't know what an engineer for the Air Force is doing up in Anchorage, Alaska. Where are the planes going? Are the planes flying and leaving somewhere? Are they coming back? Who's flying on the planes in Anchorage, Alaska, on the jets for the Air Force? What are you engineering for them in Anchorage? You're not leaving Anchorage. Well, you didn't leave Anchorage, you know what I mean? If you're not helping the military stop George and his little lizard pals from running around in Chicago, what are you doing? Because you're not engineering anything for the pilots flying those jets or those helicopters, right? You're not on the helicopters because the helicopters aren't going anywhere to stop anything. They're just doing like flyovers at the Seattle Seahawks game. That's really all they're doing. I thought to myself, I'm like, this is so crazy. As the movie was happening, like Dwayne the Rock Johnson is like beating the shit out of a couple of these military guys. I'm like, none of these people would be, if these people were like, because the black lady is, doing her job or whatever. She doesn't have a job anymore. Does anybody have one in the movie and out of the movie? So you got to think, maybe maybe Clint Eastwood should try a little bit harder to be the monkey George from Rampage. Maybe some things would get done around the country. Maybe some lives would get saved. Maybe some school shooters would be stopped. Maybe Clint Eastwood and Dwayne The Rock Johnson would actually get along in Hollywood and at Hollywood get-togethers like last night. They had the Golden Globes with Nikki Glazer hosting. I'm pretty sure Clint and The Rock are still beefing. Clint tried to fuck his girl while he was pretending to be the monkey George from Rampage. So he's pretending to be Dwayne The Rock Johnson's best friend in the Rampage movie while he's trying to fuck Dwayne The Rock Johnson's girl. Doing ape face still. In 2025, he's still doing ape face. I heard he shut up on set to his new movie, Clint Eastwood, still trying to do ape face, George ape face. He's still trying to do ape face. I don't know if I don't know. Clearly, Clint Eastwood hasn't listened to enough, like anti-Illuminati rap. He clearly wasn't trying to be George hard enough, and he clearly hasn't listened to enough rap music in his time, in his century here on Earth. So he doesn't know who Hobson is. If he did know who Hobson is and he listened to more rap music, then he clearly would have worn, like, the contact lenses that Hobson wears that are like colored. Yeah. That's how I know Clint Eastwood is still a little bit behind the game in terms of trying to catch up, what's going on in the culture and, his like, the culture he created, he started, you know, in Hollywood due to him being, can you imagine him and Betty Ford trying to fuck? Um, anyways, I'm not really sure where they're gonna go with Rampage 2 or if there's gonna be a Cry Macho 2. I'd like to see both of them personally, even with the whole ape face debacle. It's just kinda disappointing when somebody who has been working all of his life in Hollywood, turns like that against, the ape community. But that's an episode for you.